Alright, today we're going to do a button sample. And first you're going to need a spool of thread, a hand sewing needle, of course your button, and a sample piece of fabric to attach your button to, and a scissors. You'll need a double arm's length of thread. So pull the thread back like you're pulling on a bow and arrow. Snip your thread with the scissors to make sure you get a sharp cut on the end so it's easy to thread your needle. Thread your needle. And pull your thread so that it's double. Your ends are even. Bring the two pieces together like it's one rope. Make a loop. Put the two ends through and make a knot at the end. Leave the knot so it's fairly big, and then clip your end so you don't have such a long tail on your knot. And the first step of sewing on your button is you're going to take a small stitch. Make sure that it's small. Put your needle through. Make sure that it goes through both thicknesses. And usually you sew a button onto a double thickness of fabric rather than a single, and so you want it doubled. When you're finished with your stitch, your knot and your thread should be on the front side where you're going to attach your button. Then go through the first hole in the button. We're going to call it hole A. Position it on top of the knot because you usually want to cover up your knot. Go down through hole B, up through hole C, and down through hole D. And we've just kind of randomly assigned the holes. Now the method that we're using today is called a Shank Method. So we're going to take a pin and slide it underneath the thread. That's going to keep you from sewing your button on too tightly. Now you just basically go through each set of holes 2 or 3 more times. That's going to attach your button securely. But again, you put that pin through there to keep from sewing the button on too tight, because if that happens, then your button could pop off because there's too much pressure on it. Okay, so I'm through A and B. This thread is knotting. Don't get into panic if your thread gets a little knot. Just go back and pull it again. That happens to everyone. And finally through the last set of holes. There we go. If it knots on the back, again, just go back and pull your thread loose like this so that it's coming through evenly. Don't have to get in a panic if your thread gets in a knot. Okay, so remember I said that we were going to do a Shank Method. So now you're going to remove the pin and you've loosely sewn the button on. You're going to take it and come up under the button, but you're not going to go through a hole. So you're going to come under the button like this and pull it all the way through. And then you're going to wrap and form a neck. You're going to wrap it around the button 4 or 5 times to create this shank. Okay, pull it snug but not too tight. Then you're going to take your needle and send it back down through to the back side. Not through a hole, okay? And then you're ready to finish off your button. And to do that, you're just going to take a stitch and wrap the thread around the needle 3 times and then finish pulling that through. Pull it tight and you formed a knot. Okay, and then you just snip your thread And there you've got a button that's sewn on tightly. You've got a little shank underneath there, and that should be that. And then you turn it in for credit.